is Unit 4, Week 1, question number 6. What's the Kansas-Nebraska Act? What's the deal? Stephen Douglas, the little giant, senator from Illinois, wants to build a railroad. He wants to build everyone wants the railroad to go through their state. The government funds a railroad and it goes through your state. That's going to bring business and commerce and people and wealth and voters. So he wants the railroad to go through his state. However, in 1853, the U.S. government purchases the Gadsden Purchase, this little tiny piece of land at the bottom of Arizona and New Mexico, in order to create a railroad path that would stay within the United States and go through the Rockies at the lowest point, down in the desert. So it's very clear that the government is paying and supporting a southern route. So who would support a southern railroad across the United States? Southerners. So Douglas has an idea. In order to get people to support a railroad through Illinois, I've got to get people to move out into the Louisiana Purchase territory in an area near Illinois. I've got to open more states to settlement. So he comes up with an idea. He says to Congress, we've got to change. We've got to end this Missouri Compromise thing. Let's not have Congress fight over where to have slavery. Let's let the people in each state decide. People that settle in a state will vote. Do they want to be slave or free? So that's called popular sovereignty. So the Southerners go for it very quickly. Why? It means that all territories are theoretically open to slavery. So it means they might get more territory up in the north if those states voted for slavery. And northern states, Illinois, Ohio, and others go for this because it means there'll be more people settling there and it might make this railroad go through the north. What happens? The extremes settle in the state. Kansas is open for settlement. Kansas, when it has enough people, will vote whether it wants to be a state. And it will vote on its own whether to be slave or free. So before this happens, abolitionists in the north are raising money to send radical abolitionists to settle in Kansas. Passionate slave owners in the south are raising money to send poor white southerners who will be pro-slavery to settle in Kansas. So the two most adamant, extreme positions on slavery are settling in the same state. When it comes time to vote for statehood, violence breaks out. The elections are contested. Both sides claim they won, and they set up two state capitals, a free Kansas capital and a slave Kansas capital. They start fighting with each other. It ends up being labeled Bleeding Kansas. It's foreshadowing of the coming Civil War. And the other result is, because of all this violence in the territories, a new political party starts. The Republicans. They are not located in the South, they are only in the North. They are not anti-slavery, but they are against the expansion of slavery anywhere, which the South is as good as being against slavery. The Republican Party starts because of this violence in Kansas. John Brown's family sends folks to Kansas and they end up killing and attacking pro-slavery supporters in Kansas. Bleeding Kansas is foreshadowing of a bleeding United States. An attempt to bring a railroad, bring more citizens, brings more bloodshed and even more conflict over slavery. And that's it from some guy in an aloha print shirt.